everyone. Welcome back to the LEC. BDS for so long undefeated, but how will they recover after their first loss at the hands of the Mad Lions? That's the question on our minds as we get ready for Game 4.
Is it a fall from grace? Is this a stop in the BDS win train? 13 can be an unlucky number, you know? They've won 12 in a row. They've now not been able to pick up their 13. This is the first time they've lost in God knows how many weeks. So I think they need to not overread into it, you know? Adam was over roaming. The team comp was working decently well. I think they need to change up maybe Nuke's champion. Yep. But on blue side, they should find that easier.
Yeah, and I think that's the big takeaway is that there's learnings from this. It's not like it was just a complete shutdown. It feels like you can adapt coming into Champ Select here. Like, take the early jinx away so you're not playing into the Xayah, into the Vi. Try and play for something that's a little bit more comfort for Nuke. We'll have to see. Moving to the blue side, BDS will have a bit more control over their fate here.
Olaf taken away. They managed to take down the Triforce of Adam, the Olaf, Darius, and the Garen. We'll see if they can do that again. Ken and Rakan coming out. And I think Cassio was the last ban for Mad Lions on blue side. You know what? They just said, we're just going to target ban everything we think is a problem. And BDS have now changed it up and said, we think Jinx is a problem. So if they ban the Cassio here, that's going to be a Zeri for for BDS. And is it an Aphelios for Carzzy, or are they going to go for the Ezreal?
So that's the question. Do you try and take the Vi here for Sheo as well? Because that was obviously a big issue. Or do you just try and take the Xayah and say, hey, we'll neutralize, I should say, the immediate pick coming through from Elyoya if he does go towards the Vi?
So the Cassio is up, the Zeri's taken away. Now the Vi and the Xayah are open. Is Xayah worth the pick? No, it's not. Does Mad Lions match the Xayah into Vi? I think BDS are going to play Aphelios here.
Aphelios Thresh, certainly a strong option. Although they may just prioritize getting Nuke a comfort champion. First time the Gragas has really been open and available, though Nisqy has been incredible on the pick. Debating what they want to prioritize. Adam, not the kind of guy to play Jayce this season. Has been the weak side top laner to AT. So they have to decide here, 2 picks. Where do they want to spend them? I think Gragas an easy first choice as a potential flex.
I think it'd be a mistake not to take the Xayah though, because if you end up leaving that open, Gragas can't really do much against the Xayah in the back line, and you also have the Vi on the opposite side, so they will take that one away. And now the question is, what do you want to try and answer with here?
I think they have to go Aphelios Cassiopeia, you know, they're going to have to... I think this is going to be a bit of a pain if they don't. If they go Aphelios Thresh, I mean, Hilly will just lock in Blitzcrank on Nautilus, right? And if you don't take the AD here, you're going to get banned out. If you don't take the Cassio, you're going to get banned out. And then Adam's going to get targeted, but he'll probably find Sion or Malphite on 4-5. BDS should probably stick to the same plan, and looks like they're going to. Now, does Nisqy counterpick here, or do they just take their jungle of choice, match the Wukong?
Twisted Fate.
They flexed that Gragas into the top side as well before, so wouldn't be fully surprised to see that one come through. And then, well, going to take that one away instead, actually going to basically guarantee that that Gragas is going mid for Nisqy.
Now they can do Malphite Sion bans, and then I really wonder what Adam is going to dig into his champion pool for. I mean, Ornn can kind of work. We've seen his set as well, so it's going to get a bit wild in the top lane if they do that here, Mad Lions. Alternatively, Lulu Thresh, 2 powerful picks for the Aphelios.
Yeah, for the second game in a row, it feels like PDS are being forced to dig a little bit deeper into their champion pools. Comfort for them is a big deal, though, because we've seen, again, with a double carry threat, with Nuke and Crownie specifically on carries, that they are still undefeated. Mad Lions, part of the reason they were so successful is they were really able to shut Nuke down a much harder feat against the Cassio, as long as she can get some items and gold under her belt.
So, if the Sion ban does come out here, is Adam going to play something like Jarvan, you think?
Sir, you are cooking. I cannot say. That sounds a bit like it has some solid interactions into a Gragas. It can provide some kill pressure onto Jayce, but I'm not going to say I'm in love with the idea of a Jarvan.
Yeah, I think Mad Lions, this whole series, have really been looking at Adam. There it is, Malphite Sion. So now we're going to be cooking in top lane.
I imagine he'll probably just go back towards something like the Gnar blind, just try and get something that's nice and easy for himself. I know you it's not the best of matchups into the Jayce, but you can still at least play that front line when it comes towards those team fights.
Adam hasn't played a single Gnar game this year.
True.
It's not been something he's leaned towards. The matchup's also pretty rough, and I think that Mad Lions have a pretty happy... I mean, what do you pick on 4 here is the question for Mad Lions, because if you pick Thresh, they go Blitzcrank. To take away the Lulu, you're playing into a hook champ. They're going to have to blind some kind of powerful support here. Something like Rel could do nicely. They're going to go Sejuani. So the Gragas probably mid to Sejuani jungle.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if they're going to hold off here and just kind of go, okay, we'll take the support and then keep that flex of Elyoya taking the Gragas into the jungle, but going to immediately go towards the Sejuani. Means that we're going to see the Thresh, and chances are we'll see that Blitzcrank connection for Hilly.
Garen's up. That's something they targeted. It's going to be Xayah. So something standard, and now I think it's a Blitzcrank game for Hilly, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. Set up for a really, really strong pick. We've got decent team fighting as well. It's just a case of, well, you're very much in on this mid game as Mad Lions, so you want to make sure that Hyli's going to be able to roam, start getting those picks, because if BDS gets the late game with the Aphelios and Cassiopeia, you're in a really bad spot.
But I think Mad Lions have essentially figured out the BDS Xayah draft. As we see the Pyke now locked in for Hyli, certainly trying to make it more volatile. Remember, Team BDS still at match point. You cannot afford to make any mistakes if they want to keep this lane as explosive as possible. And Team BDS, now they have the carry threat required to win out in team fights, but they lack the reliable front line that they had in drafts past. K'Sante, you've seen, more strong when he can dive the back line, not a Malphite or a Scion in terms of guaranteed reliability.
I think the important thing here is they have a Cassio into Gragas Sejuani. So if you don't get that Cassio down, the amount of DPS that's going to come out is going to be unreal. Something like Conqueror on the Cassio, God knows what, Phase Rush, anything can really work into it. But in Mad Lions, again, they will get outscaled. Their front line is short-ranged. They have a little bit of poke in side lane, but it's on Xayah really to be the main damage dealer here. And BDS, good mage mid, good scaling AD carry, a little bit of frontline and defensive tools, 3 facilitators. Very stock standard from what we've seen in the last few games.
And that's why I'm kind of surprised to see the Pyke here, because in my head, you'd want to try and play around the Xayah, get her into a position where she's fed, but when you're playing the Pyke, you want to play away from that bottom lane. So Carzzy, you've seen him before where he doesn't get a lot of resources, does step up to be the carry later, but it does mean that there's probably going to be a lot of pressure on towards Nuke and work with Nisqy and Elyoya to try and play through that mid-jungle with Hylissang.
In the LCK and the LPL, they take turns. Here in the LCC, we just try to outshout each other. The passion of both these fan bases is palpable. The sign's also fantastic. Endless energy in Berlin is fantastic to see. Match point again for BDS. Let's see if they can bring it home, or Mad Lions can take us to Silver Scrapes in Game 4. And as we enter Game 4, just a reminder, BDS have not been tested thus far in the best ofs. Undefeated until last game. We need to see how they recover, not just in draft, but in terms of mental, in terms of performance on stage. Now, while you want to give them the benefit of the doubt, it's still something that we have to see from them, because Mad Lions seem unfazed by literally everything. Carzzy, as highlighted by Yamato, can sprint at one game, come back swinging even harder the next game. It is incredible to watch. BDS, can they show us the same mental fortitude here?
Minions have spawned.
We will see shortly, because already a little bit of pressure from Mad Lions. Ward onto Sheo's blue buff, see if he starts there. No sweeper, no time to base and pick up the sweeper. Buff spawning around 10 seconds time. Looks like Elyoya will start on this top side, and we'll track how he moves around the map. Looks like both junglers might path down towards their bot lanes. Pyke into Thresh. You know, whoever hits the hook first might be the one winning the trade, obviously. So we'll see if Hyli can do anything level 1. You can see them sending that bot brush so far up. They get a hook with Halo Blades. Gonna get chunked out here. BDS needs to walk with the wave.
I think Labrov may be forced to take Flay here just so he can proc Aftershock. Halo Blades does so much damage at the level 1. So many Pyke lanes are decided in the duration of this level 1. For now, though, just fighting for Prio. Carzzy laying down some feathers, using the double daggers, but the range advantage for Crownie, meaning he can at least hit the wave for now. Hylissang dropping into darkness. Labrov needs to body block that one, takes the Flay to proc the Aftershock. Hylissang, though, still, you can see how hard he hits at level 1.
Even with Elyoya moving down here as well, this is where Mad Lions want to try and see if they can at least cover here with Elyoya, but I wouldn't be surprised if he kind of does the blue, then starts to swing back up towards his top side, just to make sure that Sheo won't be able to make any plays towards chasing the top side.
Oh, Crownie ghosting, still going to get pulled back now, force flash out to safety, and again, the power of the Pyke level 1 absolutely taking control of the bottom lane.
Big pressure. Elyoya now can swap his pathing up, actually. He talks about going top side here, Dagda, but Summoner's blown. If they stay around here, that's a dive. Level 2 to level 1. Looks like Crownie knows it's a possibility. He's going to take a base and run straight back, so Elyoya might call that play off. We'll see how he moves. Looks like he's now moving into the bot side jungle. They do have the support move advantage to invade the red buff. You can see the pings coming down. They know Sheo's full clearing from top to bot. Nuke's pushed in. Hyli's first on the move. Ward to spot out Elyoya, so BDS know that this play is happening, but Crownie needs to get down towards bot and pick up that wave. Sheo saying, well, I might lose my red here, but I'll try to take my Raptors instead.
The level advantage on the bot side going to be a real problem here as well, so Elyoya immediately moving in. Nisqy hasn't quite crashed that wave in mid, so opportunity for Nuke to come across, but I think Sheo very aware that his bot side is gone, so he's just going to take it slow and not give any more advantages over towards Mad Lions.
And already the pressure advantage on the bottom side for Mad Lions, making sure that they can take away the little objectives and more importantly, potentially free Hylissang up to roam and the levels to come. Crownie no summoner spells means they're going to have to play on the back foot for a decent amount of time here.
So Mad Lions can set up crab spawning. Ward there from Carzzy to see if they can spot Sheo on the move from Krugs. Elyoya is going to finish this crab. He has two options. One, stick around bot, or two, clear up towards top side, get a camp lead, but then you leave your bot side a little bit vulnerable. They have flashes, yes, but is there a window to punish? The summoner's down on Crownie and look for dives as Sheo is here to cover. He thinks something's a possibility. They could go for a Lantern flash gank here onto Carzzy. They need level 3 though.
Keep an eye on the ammo counts for both of Crownie's guns. Nuke flashing forward, grounded, now going to try to finish the kill, forced to back away as he sees Elyoya in the mid lane. Oof, bit of an awkward one. Thought he had the window of opportunity.
Yeah, Nisqy laughing there, he's happy with that. No flash mid, they got good setup there as well. So Mad Lions have these opportunities in these windows to play around. Illy, see if he spotted out Sheo there, I'm not sure if he has. Still sticking around the jungler of BDS here, looking for something, anything.
Very committed. Crownie swapping over to Purple Gun now has the CC follow-up and setup, making it a bit trickier for Hylissang to play this fight out. Carzzy still has cleanse though.
Level 3 on Labrov, now here comes the Lantern flash you expect. Gonna call it off. A lot of time used here.
If Crownie wants to Q, he'll immediately swap guns. A ton of potential burst damage here, but won't follow on that opportunity.
Again, is Sheo getting punished though? Elyoya managed to take his bot. Now moving up towards the top side because he knows that Sheo hasn't spotted up here. Big wave crashing the top side as well. And I wasn't sure if Mad Lions were going to try and set up a dive here with Nisqy moving top, but maybe they don't need Nisqy as Adam takes a good amount of damage.
And Adam burning a lot of cooldowns there to try to poke back on a Chasy. Can make things a little bit difficult, has delayed the wave from crashing, and Adam just realizes that he needs to back up. Sheo in the area. Red buff proc. They're going to try to turn it back onto Elyoya. This could be big. Q3 up and available. The flash in, forcing Elyoya's flash out as well. Chasy's going to get one. Sheo, what can he get back? They need to stun him as quickly as possible. 4 stack stun, and they can just walk away. Nisqy there to back it up. Sheo cannot afford to get over aggressive. Q flash.
Oh, he went in.
No! Mad Lions baiting and outsmarting, outplaying on the top side.
Oh, Sheo didn't have the confidence to go for the flash. Maybe, I mean, I think he did have a walk there, but he didn't commit onto Chasy. Could have made that a 1-for-1, but you can see the pieces are slowly falling apart here for BDS.
Look back. Hylissang not going to overstay, not going to overextend.
They saw Nuke was on the way, so they decided to call that one off. But still, massive wins for Mad Lions in this game 4. Picking up 2 quick kills in the early stages, getting control against Sheo, and making sure there's little that he can do. Nuke made it the whole way down to the spot side. But now with Elyoya moving down, and Nisqy getting that push in mid, he'll be forced to
Crownie
return.
might be in trouble. So for a second, maybe Hilly was looking for an E-flash, but Labrov has that Lantern. Elyoya's here. The wave will crash and they'll thin it out. But I feel like Mad Lions have figured it how BDS want to play the game. You saw how much time Sheo was using to try and find anything. Mad Lions are playing reserved. BDS, you can see Nuke moving down from mid there to try and hover on that bot push out. Adam will see if he starts roaming around, but the resources slowly start to be spread thin for BDS, and Mad Lions have found ways to group up and punish it.
And the top side all pulling ahead in gold, 800 already for the Jayce. It's not, again, the sign of the Malphite, the luxury of just ulting in a fight and not needing to be anything else for the team. K'Sante really going to suffer as this deficit starts to increase. Crownie walking forward though, the hook connects. Hylissang though, not really under threat as long as he still has the E up and available.
Still managing to crash that wave there for Crownie and Labrov. Carzzy would be able to make his way back down. Would have loved to try and freeze that wave so then you can maybe set up a slow push into the Rift Tower that's going to be spawning just a minute and a half's time, but should still be able to get at least some sort of a push going on here if they do want to try and rotate. Hilly as well, going to completely be unlocked from the spot side at that moment and see if he can move in towards mid, punish the fact that Nuke, still no flash available on the Cassiopeia.
Right now, game's so tense. Fight over the crab, Sheo. Smite available, no smite. Sheo should be able to take that one. Adam looking for an angle on the top side, down a level, but still trying to force the fight here. Can do big damage as he goes all out. Q3, is it going to connect? Chasy low, getting out. Adam now in trouble. One more auto, the sharp blast. Chasy finding him in the 1v1.
It's all mad in game number 4. 3 kills now. A second for Chasy. BDS can they respond on the bot side? You can see Nuke and Sheo moving down, but Mad Lions, they just back away. Well, Sheo will get the blue buff, but it's a small prize for what's been won on top side.
Oh, Chasy. Huge clutch factor in that game 3 on the K'Sante. Even on the Jayce game against Malphite, solo kills galore, managing to find huge advantages but not translating it into a win. And again, it's getting the upper hand on Adam. These bans targeting out these champions which are difficult to play against because you haven't played against them so often. Playing up against the K'Sante, Chasy knows this matchup.
Certainly does. Labrov continuing to step forward. It feels like BDS are desperate to force something on the bottom side, desperate to get anything back. Sheo spotting the zombie ward there, and Oh, 8-minute eclipse on the top side for Chasy. It's not going to get any easier.
I mean, this is incredible for Chase, though, especially when you look at like the pressure that's on him. Back in X7, he was kind of considered a bit of a coin flip player. To now see him when the chips are down and they need someone to stand up, it's Chasy. K'Sante last game, Jayce this game, having Elyoya and Nisqy leaning towards him. It feels like this has actually been a rock the Mad Lions can rely on in a rookie in their top side.
Yeah, in the NLC on X7, you often play things like Renekton and Gnar and try and proxy, and then you would die in between towers, a bit coin flip sometimes here and there. But yeah, this series, phenomenal. And Mad Lions now picked up both neutral objectives, Dragon and Herald. Chasy's off to a great start. You talked about it, Drakos, Eclipse already. Adam stands no chance. He's down 2 levels as well. He's going to get to level 7 off this wave crashes, but the plates are slowly going to be chipped away at. And Mad Lions, we've seen it before. 2 years ago, up against Rogue, they pulled off a reverse sweep. All right, now they're looking comfortable here in this game 4 to force us to a game 5. BDS need to slow the game down. They're no strangers to that. They're no strangers to cross-mapping, avoiding fights, making sure they try to find objectives on the other side of the map, even if they trade down, but Mad Lions are brute forcing this top side.
And it's Sheo who's had the highest counter jungle percent, but he's getting counter jungle, and here comes everyone.
Kicking things off, the knockback now coming in, but they're standing up for now. But Nuke body blocking the Sejuani ultimate, definitely not the ideal target. Now flashing back out to safety. Mad Lions, have they overcommitted? Have they overstayed? Chasey looking for the shock blast. Oh man, Korean sniper on the top side of the map. Chasey again finding the angle.
He is playing flawlessly right now. You can see the coaching staff bowing to the top laner that has come in as a replacement for Armut. Chasey, phenomenal year so far. Stepping up huge in this series. Blunder from Nisqy though. His ult was on the wrong side of the Vi. Could have knocked him into his team and been a bit cleaner, but Chasey makes sure that he's a janitor.
Now on bot side, Elyoya starting to move down.
Ultimately not able to find anything. You see Crownie and Labrov desperately trying to find these angles, but Elyoya is here. Hylissang can just step forward. Crownie, very good guns for a fight, but if the hook connects, they could be in trouble. Labrov is going to get pulled back. Crownie knows that he has to full commit. They're trying to burn through Hylissang, so he can't get the reset. Hylissang finding one. Ignite now ticking. No, he doesn't get it. The flash backwards means they're going to force them out. Crownie, though, should just get taken down here. Does not have the range to push the E. It is a 1-for-1 on the bottom side.
And you get to push this in for Mad as well. Get some more plates for yourself. You even got the Rift Herald in tow for Elyoya, so big win for Carzzy on that bottom side. And once more, we're seeing that Carzzy can step up here in the bot lane.
Definitely can. We'll get a plate for himself, so even trade. But yeah, Carzzy will get the better hand. The wave, the gold from the plates. Nisqy's taking a base there, has the TP up and available. Adam also has that TP coming up, but we'll look at this replay here, because Nisqy actually blunders the whole combo. The E-flash is great, but look where this ult goes. Wrong side. Don't know where that was. Mouse must have went up towards the top side. Anyway, dodge of the ult here from Chasey. Watch this backstep. Instantly dodges out on the Cassiopeia ultimate, and then the snipe was just fantastic, wasn't it? Watching and waiting for Nuke's movement. Just came up, boom.
He just doesn't miss with them.
He just doesn't miss.
Impressive. Here on the bottom side, of course, you see the play here. Labrov forced to burn flash, so the execution doesn't come through. Crownie knows that he has to fight in the exchange. Easy CC follow-up. Labrov flashing to make sure that the reset doesn't come out, but Carzzy only really forced to use the ult to follow. And Elyoya, I think, a little bit slow on the trigger there on the E, or they may have been able to find a second kill.
The fact that you now have no flashes on mid, bot, or support is going to make this next Dragon very dangerous for BDS. They're trying to see if they can find a pick beforehand, but I don't think they can really find his Labrov. What are you doing?
Walking under the tower! This is not what you do! BDS!
Crownie, no flash. Nisqy, can he hit him with the barrel this time?
Running backwards. Nisqy going to find the slow, and that's all that they need to find. The Bomba backwards! Easy follow-up. And this is not just a Mad Lions advantage. This is a Mad Lions slaughter. BDS prey in the face of their opponents.
It's a 5,000 gold lead, isn't it? They have Herald for bot tower if they want. Dragons up. They just need to recuperate and grab the creeps on the lanes. See Sheo just instantly trying to cross-map, running top. Maybe he can find a kill onto Chasey. No flash up there just yet. That'll be a nice shutdown to get over. But Chasey, look how much respect he's playing with. Mad Lions are playing reserved and calm around Sheo's movement on this map. And they're finding such fantastic plays.
And right now, options are starting to run out very quickly for BDS. They're not going to have the luxury of time to scale up in the game. Labrov, it's a mistake. You know, a player in a final like this is not a mistake you can afford to make.
And I think he knew that Nisqy was on the way, so was trying to sneak past, but Elyoya just there in the right spot. Maybe expected that Sheo might have been able to escape, but with no flash for himself, maybe he could have just gone to the blast cone. But unfortunately now, not going to be in position, and this from Nisqy, gorgeous stuff, picking off Crownie perfectly, and that'll be the Dragon alongside us.
Yep. BDS looking a little bit shook. I mean, this game is just so one-sided. Normally we saw them in the first couple of games trading back and forth, and Mad Lions have been through hell and back to get here in the first place, and even being down 0-2, they're unfazed, but now BDS looking like the game's just slipping out of their hands. Nothing is working.
A huge amount of it has been those people that have been denied their opportunity to win the split for a while. Hilly now, one of those, wants to pick off Adam.
Adam isolated. If he gets too low, he will fall down. He has the flash. maybe get away the death from below, but Herald coming in. This tower is not his to hide under. He needs to get the hell out, but he's pulled back. He's unstoppable. He pulls Hilly away with him too. Now trying to dash to safety. Hylissang gonna find the stun, the shock, the follow-up, the execution. He goes over the wall, but he gets hit anyway. Hylissang with a clean death from below.
Little bit of cross map here from Crownie's trying to get this bot tower, but Mad Lions aren't done here.
They're not. They're going to keep pushing. They've even got the push in mid. Labrov
Knockback,
once again.
Labrov dunked down. And this is the thing. They haven't had flashes for 3 minutes, and Mad has killed them 3 times in the duration.
I cannot stress enough how much I can hear Mad Lions laughing and having fun. They just hit the barrel onto Labrov. They're having a great time. Giggles all around. They're having such a good game here. Nisqy's just roaming around the entire map. BDS will get this bot tier 1, but Chasy, look at this gold swing now. It's going to be up to 4K in a second.
Crownie ghosting to make it out to safety. And with 2 Drakes already stacked, yes, it's Chemtech Soul, but I don't know if it's going to matter. This lead is nigh insurmountable. Yes, BDS, credit to them. They've come back in from so many deficits by team fighting, but Matter so far ahead, they will beat you with their wallets. They can miss skills, they can miss ultimates, they can be missing summoner spells, and they can still win these fights.
And you're missing items on BDS as well. You're going to be waiting so long before Crownie really becomes relevant, before Nuke really becomes relevant. Whereas when you look at Mad Lions, we talked about this being a team that comes alive in the mid game, and they're going to be spiking saves very hard as Hilly.
Hilly, they just instantly ult him again, just chain CC, lock down the Pyke, good kill. That is certainly a start. Hilly, that's the vulnerability of playing this champion into a Vi especially. You cannot get away.
Steadily finding something now, BDS. Got a tower in bot, now they've got a kill. Crownie sitting on 2 after that answer on the 1-for-1 from the bot play. Tower will probably fall, but no local gold will go over. Oh, the minion just dropped after a last second. So that won't hurt too much. Mad will probably want the local gold anyway. Herald's up, you can see pings coming through. Mad Lions haven't dropped a single neutral right now, and I don't think they're done just yet.
That thought now instantly. Labrov picked off again, and this is the tools, this is the setup that Mad Lions have. They're just engaging every time they see an enemy champion on their screen.
And this time they did it with Labrov's flash up as well, so just adding insult to injury now. Mad can get control over this mid lane. They can fall back as Nisqy.
Nisqy's sidestep on the Q is big. They just don't have the damage to kill this Gragas right now.
Yeah, he can just stand in their face, just contest these Raptors while his jungler's taking Herald, right? The map's just in shambles. There's nothing that BDS can really do. I think Mad Lions are just going to wait for this Baron to spawn. They can pick up this next dragon and put themselves on soul point as well. BDS they need so many more items.
And the beauty of Nisqy having that much control in the, well, 2v1 means that you can get vision.
Crownie's dead.
Oh my god!
I'm sorry.
Chasy's Jayce is a problem.
Yeah, it's not EU Jayce. It's Chasy Jayce.
Really
This man, out of control. Even in the poke game, it was good. 1 or 2 fumbles wasn't too bad, but this game, absolute dominance. And Mad Lions basically telling BDS, show us something new. We figured out what you want to do. We figured out how you want to play the game, and we are ready to fire back now.
Yeah, Mad Lions blundering in the first 2 games against this comp of BDS, but now they know how to run away with it. Now they can dictate the pace of the game, even in the early stages. That ward from Elyoya level 1 on blue just basically spotted where Sheo would be on the red buff. And the bot plays from Hilly, just to make sure they can lock that down and put Sheo behind.
And I think Elyoya has been incredible all series long, even in their losses, of keeping track of Sheo, preventing him from being the one to counter jungle, play the usual BDS style. It's been Mad Lions who've been the ones getting that deep vision, working with Hilly and making sure that there isn't really an opportunity for BDS to fight back. Now, all of them using that vision to move down to the bot side, and Adam, I think we've seen this one before.
It's tanky though.
Pull back. Hook now coming in. Looks like dashing out safety. Barely able to make it away on that one, but even then, it's so hard. You at best get consolation prizes, and when Carzzy's just walking at your jungler with no fear, that's a bad sign for this one.
Yeah, they got both tier 2s from BDS in 16 minutes without using Herald. Mad Lions can use it on mid tier 2. Look at the damage.
Crownie locked up, ultied. Almost connects, but not quite. Shock blast! Oh, the shield coming in from Adam to save the carry there.
Yeah, Dragon's up in 15, easy exit objective. There's the Herald mid for the tier 2. Nisqy has to be careful though. This is BDS's last real play to maybe find a pick. If Nisqy plays safe, and he does in the top side, you can see him running away, knowing that their only option is top. He's just happily clearing these waves.
He has the flash, he has the ult, he has everything. And Mad Lions, they're having some towers in the mid lane as well.
Mad, right.
It's
that Volt would probably go more here, but I think, again, they've learned their lesson. Just go towards Drake.
17 minutes. 11K gold lead. This is an absolute stomp. And I think we have to take a second to appreciate Mad Lions have been going through the gauntlet. They lost their first best of 3. They have been 1 series away from elimination for the last 2-3 weeks. This has been so difficult, and yet they just keep coming out on top. We thought they might lose to Fnatic. It was a base race away from them being out. It was 1 or 2 autos on a Nexus from us not seeing this team play in best of 5s, and yet here they are today, potentially on the cusp of bringing us to a Game 5.
And it's not only those doubts that are there, it's the fact that they've been denied so many times when you look at the players. Nisqy never having won an EMEA final before. Sure, he has the C9 win over an LCS, but never getting one in his home region. Hilly, 5 finals since 2018 and not a single win to his name since then. This would be such a big one to get.
Yeah, the mid lane tier in Europe is so elite. It's always has been. You know, back in the days, if you wanted to win a title, you needed Pyke, Froggen, or Forbidden. You know, a couple years later, it was the Caps and Perks. Then it moved on to Larsen and Humanoid, and Nisqy was always that player in the shadows behind these names, never really able to find his title. Went over to NA and found one there, yes, but now he's back in the LEC. And he's on this Mad Lions lineup where Elyoya and Carzzy were the ones reverse sweeping Rogue to their first championship. And I think they keep the spirits high, and Nisqy adds fuel to that fire. And you could hear them laughing throughout this game. You could hear them laughing even when they were down 0-2. It was like this friendship that they had in 2021, which carried them to those back-to-back titles. And I can kind of see that here again.
And just remember that a couple years ago, Nisqy didn't have a team. He wasn't good enough to play on a starting lineup, people thought. Rekkles came in, ultimately struggled to perform on stage. Mad Lions finally brought him back into the fold, but there was a time where no one wanted to pick up Nisqy, and you look at him now and you wonder, what the hell were they thinking? It's an incredible story for him, an incredible opportunity. And for Mad Lions, they can't get ahead of themselves, but the fact that they've gotten more and more disciplined, the fact that they've improved across these last few weeks is a credit to the team as a whole.
Yeah. For both play there. Well, they're looking top as well.
Well, knockback. Chasy should have easy advantage in this 1v1 versus Adam. Labrov are taking a lot of damage, but Chasy not being in the picture could be a big deal. Crownie finding a kill. That's a start. Bomba coming out. Ooh, Carzzy, the Gale Force forward, the auto. Mad Lions holding onto their lead, but giving a bit of back, a bit of gold.
Yep, Chasy traded flash with Adam. Adam got out. Chasy's going to push in bot. TP's up in a sec. And Baron spawning in 15. I think Mad Lions will push out top and mid. Look for a Baron start very soon and then start sieging on these inhibitors. Their soul's up in 3 minutes. Not the best soul, but I think they're going to start breaking through this base.
And trying to play into these choke points is going to be so difficult against Mad Lions. The ultimates from Nisqy, Hilly looking for a few of those hooks. The pot shots that come through from Chasy as he walked through as well. Obscene stuff if you actually try to go through this. At least Sheo will get his blue, but I don't know how much more control BDS will get.
TP behind. They know that BDS want vision on this Baron, but they're not giving it to them. Labrov, Blue Orb's going to spot him.
Mad Lions going for the throat. They want to end this game. They do not want to give BDS any more time. Not sure if the shot class got the vision, but Labrov now on the retreat here should be an easy kill pickup. They just do so much damage. Aftershock is not enough. Chasy now unstoppable.
They know Sheo's here too. They're going to find a Vi, and they're going to chase him down as well.
Chasy not involved. Elyoya, the chaser in this context. Chasy and Carzzy. Just going to focus on this Baron, and again, their lead is so massive. There is just nothing for BDS to do. The first time we have seen BDS put down like this in a very, very long time.
Base is coming through now. The siege will begin. Adam's pushing out bot, but I think this game is as good as done.
I mean, G2 in week 2 was the last time that we actually saw BDS drop a game, and then we had last game for Mad Lions as well, and this one is looking sure as done. Incredible stuff from Mad Lions, especially 2-0 down, to be able to step back up and say, no, we're just going to take this. We're going to be able to knock this one out of the park.
And with BDS on blue side as well. You know, there were concerns with how strong blue side has been, that this could, you know, put them in a losing position in draft, but Mad Lions just continue to be one step ahead. Once they found that edge in the previous game, it seems like they've just never let go of that advantage.
I think they found a way to break the game open through top and play more reserved and play more with Chasy's leads. Bot's been winning in isolation in these last few games for Carzzy and Hylissang. Elyoya has been doing good to match it. And yeah, I think they've just nullified Adam so much in this series. BDS are going to have to try and figure a way to get Adam back into this game, into this series, sorry, for Game 5.
BDS have played one way for almost a month now. So the pressure on to adapt, to find more in the final moments, in the minutes between games here is so high now. So look for an angle in the fight. Sheo off to the side, trying to push them back away from the wave here. Mad Lions, are they comfortable enough to go for the dive?
Hilly's on the split push on the Pyke. He's going to start hitting top tier 3. So I think Mad Lions are saying, well, we have a level 15 Jayce, but we also have Hylissang. So let him do the split push. And Crownie's going to go over to clear mid wave and top wave. Mad Lions will start hitting on the spot tier 3 as the wave comes through.
Successful split push as well, as far as it's concerned. I mean, this wave should be able to hit in. We'll be able to get it. Oh, Sheo!
Just barely dashed away by Sheo. Tower starting to fall here. Adam Q3 ready to go. Are they going to try to force the engage?
I think Nuke needs to get an ult flash here if they want to fight this. Watch Nuke. I think he needs to go for a flash ult onto Mad Lions if he wants to stop the siege.
Crownie stepping up. Decent guns for a fight, but really not enough gold to get anything done here. Forced to flash out. Just burning the cast, but again, slow, disciplined, controlled from Mad Lions, not over-forcing here. They've got Labrov on a blinking health bar, but they're still not over-engaging. They're not flashing in. They're not trying to do anything crazy. They know that this win is theirs as long as they do not overextend.
Looks like they will just back away, though. Dragon in a couple of seconds. How far do they want to push?
Continue to pressure forward. BDS, it's do or die. Force and engage and win a fight or lose the game, but Mad Lions, this lead nigh insurmountable. Will take an absolute miracle for BDS to find anything here. Hylissang walking up, fishing for the hook. Dash quick safety. That's Nuke's flash engage. Can they take out one? Can they burn through the health bar? Nisqy, but no, he goes golden. Now firing back is Carzzy on the backside. Adam unstoppable. Nisqy will finally fall. A shutdown for Crownie, but I think it's too little. It's not enough in the end. Elyoya walking up, tower laid down from Crownie, but they just don't have the money. They don't have the stats, they don't have the champions, they don't have anything to respond to. This is another empowered shock blast connects. They'll get away from Hylissang, but they will not get away from Game 5. Mad Lions, from the jaws of defeat, they snatch victory and they bring us to Silver Scrapes.
Sub 24 minutes, what a stomp. Mad Lions, spirits are very high. BDS, these are, like you said, Dagda, they haven't lost in so long. Now they really have to bounce back. Now they really have to band together and figure out a plan for this last game, because one single game will determine who's going to MSI, and one single game will determine who our champion is for Spring.
And it's night and day looking at both the teams. Stone faces on BDS as they move towards the back. Whereas when you look across, it's Nisqy smiling, happy, and you talked about them being a very momentum-based team. With Mad Lions, they have all the momentum with them after that game. And I think for BDS, you got to go back to a drawing board that you nearly have to completely rewrite. It looks like Mad have figured them out.
Feels like it, doesn't it? Hilly won in 2018 summer with Fnatic. It's been 5 finals since then, where he's not been able to find a win. He's always fallen short, mostly up against teams like G2, and now here in the finals, he's 1 game away from getting another trophy to add on to make it 3. He's most experienced player here on the stage, so you look towards Hylissang and Mad Lions as your veteran, as someone to keep you calm, and as much as you're having fun and being happy, keep it serious, you know? Keep the drafts going, and BDS needs to rethink the strategy.
Certainly the case, but also at the same time, your most rookie player is playing the series of his life right now. Chasy, this is an incredible turn, and he has been a consistent force in all 4 games thus far. It just hasn't been enough to win the games, but now, game 3 and 4, it is enough. It has been enough. We'll see if it will be enough in game 5. In the meantime, let's head back over to the Analyst desk to talk about this incredible series.
Pick it up. We're just going to pick it up where you left it off, being Chasy. What an unbelievable performance from him so far, Ender. He was already instrumental in their run in winter, and it seems that the time has only done good things for him now that he's getting a second chance at winning a title.
Absolutely. And you look at it, wasn't even just this game where at one point he was up like 5,000 gold just over Adam, finding solo kills, the outplays, everything. Every single game he has at the edge in top lane. And Adam, we know, likes to, you know, TP down towards bot side, try to get leads other places, but anytime he does, he is punished. And I think Mad Lions, how they put focus on the top side and just the disaster this 2v2 turned into, let him snowball.
I really think going forward, it's about mitigating that exact pressure as well. I think now you see what he's capable of, Jayce. We already knew that from earlier games. I think going into this last one, that is something you just take away, because the strategy that works the best for BDS is having Adam in this position. If you want to have him in this position, you cannot give agency to Chasy.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see how BDS handle themselves in this last game, because normally we see teams lose on the red side, choose the blue side. Now we saw BDS lose on the blue side and most likely choose blue side again. So what do you change? Chasy picked Jayce before bans in this last game and might do it in the next one as well. Do you afford to ban it before the first pick? Do you have space to ban it before the first pick?
Maybe they go to red, who knows?
It's tough. I mean, but that's the other
red,
thing too, is like, even if you do ban it, yes, like he had much more influence, I think, on this Jayce than the Xanthi, but last game, Xanthi was also insane in the team fights too. And that's before we get to the next picks that he was busting out last playoffs, where it was like the Fiora, the Aurelia coming away with just insane moves there too. So this guy has depth, even though we haven't seen all of it. His 2 picks have been lights out.
Is it a bit of a top diff so far? The last 2 games?
It kind of is top versus AD so far this series, and it seems like when you give the likes of Gragas and when you get Chasy going, Crownie doesn't get to the point in the game where he's strong enough. I don't think they were doing too bad bot this game. It just seemed like Chasy took over too quickly.
You know, I actually think it was a bot lane difference again, down towards the bot side again. You know, the Hylissang on the hooks in the beginning, forcing the flash and the ghost immediately. Crownie forced the lane without flash. Actually, I'd argue that while Crownie is an amazing AD carry in the late game, when it comes to the 2v2 in the bot lane between Hylissang and Carzzy, and Crownie and Labrov, then it's actually the Mad Lions bot lane that has had the best laning phases so far.
I just feel like when you look at this overall, like BDS exploded kind of their prep coming in a little bit and like leaving the Gragas open as a huge issue, giving that to Nisqy. So then you have the Gragas going to Nisqy, you have the Jayce going up topside to Chasy, you have Hilly on his signature Pyke. Like, I see those players on those 3 champions, I'm like, I don't care what the matchup looks like, you're just not gonna lose.
Yeah, and it was an absolute stomp last game. I'd like to talk about Nisqy just a little bit. Of course, he's my countryman, but he's also a phenomenal player, and he's made the playoffs in every single split he's participated in since he started in 2017. Of course, he won the title over in the LCS, and he's had a couple of chances to win it here, but he's always been the rock for the teams he's been in.
I think the crazy thing about Nisqy is, and I think Caedrel summed this up perfectly on Cast, we talked about like sort of like the 3 different eras of mids, you know, like your Febvin X Pyke times, then Caps, Perks, Clutch, and Humanoid. He was like always 3rd best, I think, since he joined the league in 2017. He was always in the conversation, but never breaking through, never with a real chance to lift the title, even though people always looked at him very highly. And now he's on match point. He has the chance to be the 4th player ever, not just to win here, but also to win a title over in the LCS, which is crazy.
It's crazy, and I think the 2 storylines converging and coming to a zenith, it's fantastic to watch, because now we see Guldborg, this scrappy squad, this Guldborg squad, this BDS squad,
Yeah, sure,
you're also
I like that.
scrappy.
I'll take that as a compliment.
This BDS squad that went through this whole journey. This might not be the best time to bring it up, but we do have a core of BDS that lost the finals they played when they played in the LFL last year. And I guess now the point is, take what you learned there in terms of momentum with the fantastic coaching staff they have, and make sure that that does not happen again.
Yeah, I think it's really important that you don't get emotional after a loss like this, and you keep staying logical. I think taking the approach from the draft is the first step as well, saying, hey, we banned away Jinx, but that probably should have been a Gragas, because we first picked Vi, and when we first pick Vi, they're normally going to go Xayah anyway, so the Jinx probably wouldn't have mattered in that regard. And I also think just taking a moment to actually cool themselves will be good. We saw a lot of sloppy mistakes. I think Labrov had a hard time in this game specifically, even up towards the top side with Sheo. Pretty much every member had a hard time finding their footing. It's really about finding the mental reset going into the last game.
The last time that we saw the reverse sweep, and last time that we saw 5 games rather, was in spring 2021 from the hands of the Mad Lions, Rekkles. So you just know that the enemy team is riding so high right now. How do you break that as BDS? What are BDS's main problems that they need to address?
I think the early game is a huge issue right now, especially in the top lane. I feel like if they can just get themselves to a position in the game where it's not completely over already, then they have really good chance of winning. Their
Chose blue, by the way.
They chose blue, yeah. So most likely not a lot of things will change in terms of comp versus comp. I would just like to see them play more towards their comp, because it feels like they're contesting early everywhere, and that's exactly what Mad wants. They should just try to play a little bit from behind if that's needed, and then do the team fighting later.
Yeah, I also just think in general, the fact that they no longer find themselves where they can come back because Mad Lions allowed them to, so at a dragon fight. If you remember a lot of the games, it has still been Mad Lions that attacked the early game. It was one sloppy mistake that then come through, boom, BDS is back into the game. But in a game like this, that just wasn't allowed. Pressure, mid lane, top lane, pressure, bot lane, pressure. It was just 3 lanes continuously making sure that you were not allowed to make a move and actually set up for the objectives, which is what BDS had been so good at doing.
Ender, what does your gut tell you?
My gut is making me really nervous for BDS, which feels terrible because I've been hyping them up all day, but sort of looking at after they lose game 3, and then they start letting like the Gragas go over, sort of maybe misidentifying, trying to give that to Nisqy. Now my concern is, do they go for a bigger change to go further away from what has worked all throughout their massive win streak? Like, does top lane all of a sudden stop being just the blind tank pick, you know, just to, you know, survive through and team fight for them? Because if they go that route, like, Adam has been the solo kill machine in the past, but you're putting a lot of pressure on that man in the final match if you do take that option.
But he's learned so much throughout the year. It could be the moment, but is it the optimal strategy for BDS to go for, Guldborg?
Yeah, that's the thing. I actually think you still probably have to commit to the weak side, because that works. That's what's worked so often. I think you've had moments now where there was a mis-execution. For example, the Malphite games where he TPs down level 5. That's way too early. But the idea is still good of when BDS does it. It's just finding it at the right moment. They've been having a few misses, maybe a bit stress in the communication. It all comes down to just that mental pressure again.
Oh yeah, you gotta chill now. You have to bring it home for either side. Hilly, by the way, could be only the 2nd player ever to win on 2 different orgs in the LEC. Oh, it's already coming. Will history repeat itself? himself with the Mad Lions reverse sweeping to another LEC title? Or can Team BDS weather the storm and secure their first ever title? It's time for Silver Screams.
On the top side, down low, but still trying to force the fight here. Can do big damage. He goes all out. Q3 is it getting Chasy low, getting out. Adam now in trouble. One more on the shark blast. And they're standing up for now, but Nuke body blocking the Sejuani ultimate. Definitely not the ideal target. Now flashing back out to safety. Mad Lions, have they overcommitted? Have they overstayed? Chasy looking for the shark blast. Oh man, Korean sniper on the top side of the map.
Just end this. Good job.
Well played, yes.
Nice game, guys.
Nice!
We got these guys.
Let's go!
Where do we go?